The regal tomb of an ancient emperor awaits, and you can finally build your own with the new Stygian Tomb bundle on Conan's Bazaar. However, opulent as it may be, is the price too high even for these lavish decorations? Today, we're going to find out. Firstly, a disclaimer: this set was gifted to me by Funcom, but just like all my other reviews, that will in no way affect my opinions of this set, nor will it affect my recommendation or lack thereof. So without further ado, let's get started. The Stygian Tomb bundle comes in at a staggering 2,485 Crom coins, roughly $21. The bundle contains a total of 11 items, and they are as follows: an ornate Stygian Chest, a Stygian Sedan Chair, 4 Stygian Canopic Jars, a Stygian Oil Lamp, a Stygian Sarcophagus, the Stygian Cat Idol Statue, and 2 Emblem Icons, the Stygian Eye foreground and the Stygian Pyramid background. So, let's begin with the chest. The Stygian Chest is a heavily decorated chest that is, for all intents and purposes, a straight reskin of the base game large chest. The model itself is very slightly larger than the aforementioned base game version, but it is far more intricate, though it's not so laden with gold that looks ridiculous. It costs 15 shaped wood and 5 iron reinforcements to build and holds up to 45 item stacks, both of which are the exact same as the base game large chest. The Stygian Chest is a rather regal storage device that is fairly nicely decorated and works well in the context of a Stygian design. The only downside is that it doesn't look as good when stacked atop another chest just because of how the legs are designed, but that's also true for a lot of the chests in the game, and it's a fairly minor detail, so I'm not too hung up on it. Overall, a pretty snazzy chest. The Stygian Sedan Chair is a super lavish throne made of gold and tan with some colourful accents on the seat cover and some of the detailing. The front bears very Stygian and Setite iconography, and the rear bears an image of 2 cats alongside hieroglyphics and other various symbols. The chair is a throne class seat, meaning players and thralls will sit on it with the throne animation rather than the regular chair one, which does suit it quite well. The Stygian seat supports players and thralls, but like seemingly all other throne types, it unfortunately doesn't seem to function with the tavern system. The throne is a little cheaper than most others too, costing 60 hardened brick and 18 steel reinforcements, whereas most other thrones need 90 bricks or a tertiary ingredient. Not sure if this is a bug, just an oversight, or intentional though. The Sedan Chair is quite nice, very well designed with a nice colour balance that isn't too muted or strong. The only downside is that it doesn't work with the tavern system, but in terms of the other thrones too, that isn't an outlier. Overall, a rather lavish seating option. Next, the Canopic Jars. There are 4 versions of these, each with an identical body but with a different head attachment. They include a human skull, a bird skull, a jackal skull, and the skull of what seems to be a wolf or a dog. Each of the jars bears an off-white body with red, gold and blue accents with hieroglyphics and small yet ornate detailing. The jars are also quite cheap, costing 25 stone each to make, making for a decent decoration option for shelves or tables. Overall, the Canopic Jars are fairly nice. It would have been easy to just have one and then just place as many as you like, but by having 4 with different head designs, I think it makes them a bit more visually interesting. All things considered, pretty good. Next, the oil lamp. This is a large sort of bowl-shaped lamp with a flat surface stylized as a coiled snake with its head rising at the rear, and the flame comes from the centre of the lamp itself. In terms of light level, it's on par with the regular oil lamp from the Age of Sorcery Chapter 1 Battle Pass, though it looks visually brighter as the flame reflects a bit better on the lamp and it is lower to the ground. This lamp is extraordinarily cheap at only 15 stone. It's not super bright, but having been a big fan of the Age of Sorcery oil lamp myself, this one is a nice alternative and will definitely have a solid place in lighting your builds. Overall, not much to say about it, but quite nice. The Sarcophagus is probably one of the most attractive items in this set. It has an incredibly intricate design with an off-white base, golden accents, and tones of red, green and blue throughout. It's a really elegant piece, my favourite part being the Setite snakes wrapped around it. What sets this placeable aside is that if you interact with the sarcophagus, it will open up, revealing a space inside decorated with hieroglyphics and other symbols. If you interact with the door, you can close it again, but if you interact with the back, you'll be able to stand inside the sarcophagus and close the door. When you're done cosplaying as a long dead pharaoh, just interact to open the door and walk to step out. This item also works with thralls, but the hitbox of the sarcophagus seems to overlap that of the thrall, meaning you can't take them out. There is a super easy workaround, just remove the sarcophagus, but it would be nice to be able to extract them without removing the placeable. The sarcophagus design itself is super extravagant. It is a little low on details in some area, but given how much is packed onto the design, I would guess it's probably a compromise to make sure everything can perform well, and you only really notice the low detail if you're looking very closely. The unique use of being able to open and step into this sarcophagus is also pretty nice, if something that might only be used occasionally, but it is a shame that the only way to remove a thrall from it is to remove and replace it. Then again, if you wanted to dress up a low tier thrall to act more as a decoration and not remove them, I think it could look quite good. Overall, I think the sarcophagus is pretty good. I'm not sure how often its function would be used, but in terms of design alone, it's a very intricate piece that really feels opulent and nails the design, only brought down a bit by its issue with removing thralls. The cat idol statue is a small sphinx-like statue that comes up to about thigh height. It has a dark grey base adorned with a gold trim, a tan plinth with hieroglyphics and colourful decorations, and finally a black marble statue of a cat, adorned with a pharaoh-like setite headdress. The statue is predictably a little small, I'd say roughly the same size as a real in-game cat. I would have preferred it to be a bit bigger just for extravagance, but not so big that it overshadows the other items in the bundle. It is quite a well-made statue, and if you've got a build themed around cats, I think it would fit in really well, and it does work with the whole theme of a Stygian Tomb. It's nothing too special really, but for what it is, I think it's well made. Again, my only complaint is that I think it could have been double the size and still worked well, but that being said, I don't think it's anywhere near useless at its current size. Overall, fairly good. Finally, the Emblem Icons. The foreground icon is a hanging eye, and the background is a pyramid with a circle at the apex. I said in my Spider Infestation bundle review that I much prefer symmetrical emblems that complement each other, and these are probably the ideal example. The pyramid is a simple shape but is quite effective with a small bit of texture, and the eye sits perfectly in the circle at the apex and is framed nicely by the pyramid. These two emblems just work really well together. They both also work quite well with various other emblems from different passes and bazaar bundles. These emblems are just overall pretty good. They're well designed, properly balanced, and work really well with each other, and as a bonus they also complement a lot of the other emblems, and generally, I just think they are quite nice. So with everything covered, I think it's time to give the final verdict. I'm not going to lie, I actually rather like this bundle. The items are very cohesive, the designs are gorgeous, and I do rather like the opulent take on the Stygian style. Aside from the issue with thralls in the sarcophagus, which does have an easy if slightly inconvenient workaround, this set also seems basically bug-free. I've not encountered any other issues of note. That being said, this bundle just does not feel like a $20 set, especially without armour. Had they included a Pharaoh armour set or something like that, then I think it would have brought it up a bit more in value, but without it, it's a very expensive bunch of admittedly quite nice decorations. Ultimately, I can't give this set a recommendation, and that is solely on the price point. I'm always happy to see a set with good designs and little to no bugs, and I'd say this bundle meets those stipulations. The only bug I've found is one that does have an easy workaround, and the designs are beautiful. It's just not worth $21 in my opinion. There's nothing wrong with the pieces themselves, but yeah, for this price point, I'd want to see more functional stuff in this bundle. Feels like we could have got some armour and weapons in this set to at least get the value closer to the price point. I think a proper Pharaoh armour set would have made a bit of difference in my eyes. Regardless of that, in its current state, I can't recommend this bundle at the $21 price point. If you do really love it, then that price might seem worth it for you, and if it is, that is ultimately your prerogative. But if you're only interested in this bundle for maybe the sarcophagus or the emblems, maybe just wait until they're sold separately. And there we have it, my review of the Stygian Tomb bundle. Thank you for watching, and of course a massive thanks to our wonderful, esteemed coffee cultists for continuing to support the channel over on Patreon. Make sure you subscribe for more Conan reviews, guides, builds, news, lore videos and more. Don't forget to let me know what you think of this bundle in the comments below. Take care, and I'll see you soon.